Welcome to the Algo Trading Strategies channel. In today's video, I'm going to analyze the Keltner Channel, which is an EMA, so an exponentially weighted moving average in the middle band, and which uses a volatility indicator to calculate the upper and the lower bands. So this is the average true range, so the ATR, and a multiplier of the ATR from the middle line. It calculates +1 or -1 ATR, or +2 or -2 the ATR, to get the upper and lower bands. So I'm going to explore a breakout long-only strategy based on the Keltner channel. If you don't know already, the very goal of this channel is to construct a well-rounded portfolio of automated strategies in Python. Each and every strategy is usually based on a technical indicator. You can see that on this channel I've already analyzed moving averages based strategies, as well as RSI or choppiness index, or MACD, or Bollinger Bands, and so on and so on. And in today's video, I'm going to explore the Keltner channel. So I've described to you what it is in blue here, the blue band, and we are going to enter. The strategy's rules are very simple. We enter when we have a breakout above the upper band. So here, for example, we would have entered on this Greek candlestick at the daily close. We are in the daily time frame here on Bitcoin USDT on the Binance exchange. So we would have entered at about $70,000 per Bitcoin here in October 2024, and we would have closed when the candlestick closes below the middle line. So on this last red candlestick here at around $67,000 or $68,000 or so. So a trade here that lasts about 1 week. And you can see here that the trade that is next to this one is a big trend catch, because we enter when this green candlestick closes at this price here, $75,400 for Bitcoin, and we close when we closes below the middle line. So on this candlestick here on December 19th, 2024, about $97,300. So a trade of about 43 days. Usually for these strategies, I recommend you use the spot market so that you don't pay the funding rate fees, which can get quite high, and especially in these periods of excitement of the market. Also note that I apply a 0.1% fee on the entry and exit of each trade, and I compound the allocation of each trade into the next one. So it's 100% compounded strategy. So now you know the strategy's rules. Maybe you also noticed that I explored a Bollinger Bands, very similar breakout long-only strategy 2 days ago on this channel, and we are going to compare very quickly the results, the best results that we get with this very strategy today with the Bollinger Bands version. So what I've done to get sensitivity heat maps, which show the various results of the backtest that I've run, is to vary the Keltner length and the Keltner ATR multiplier. On the chart, this is very simple. The Keltner length is the number of historical candlesticks that are used to calculate the middle line, which is, remember, an exponentially weighted moving average, so an EMA. The default value is usually 20, but I have studied a range between, I believe, 10 and 30 or so. And also we use different multipliers. So of course the default one usually is 1 or 2. And this is the multiplier by which we multiply the ATR. The ATR represents usually the volatility of the current price action. And we use a multiplier of 1, 2, 3, for example, to get the upper and lower bands from the EMA, the middle line here. So of course, the bigger the multiplier, the larger the width of the band. So here we see the Sharpe ratios in the daily version of our breakout long-only strategy based on the Keltner channel. The best performances so far are on top of this heat map, when in fact the Keltner length is quite difficult to pronounce, is about any value within 530, but the Keltner ATR multiplier is 1, maybe 2, but 1 yields the best performances, as you can see on top, with Sharpe ratios around 1.4, so which is very good. But the number of trades, and it's usually the case in the daily time frame for almost all the strategies that I explore in the daily time frame, the number of trades is not enough. It's quite good here, it's about 60 or so, sometimes a bit more, but the number of trades that I set for myself for a whole backtest when I select a strategy must be above 100 trades. So it's kind of an arbitrary threshold, I agree, but at least there is some statistical reliance that we have when we have a certain number of occurrences in our trading here. So quite good performances so far for the daily time frame, but not enough trades. Here very quickly the multipliers, the best ones are reached with the Keltner Channel length of around 25 or so, and still an ATR multiplier of 1. So very quickly, so you can see on the chart what it does with a length of 25 and a multiplier still 1. The band is a little bit different depending on the exponential moving average, and yes, if we change to 2, so you can see the band gets larger and larger, so of course there will be less breakouts, so less trades overall, the bigger the multiplier. So let's take a quick look at the 4-hourly version of our strategy. The best performances are around a length of 20 and a multiplier of 2 or 3. So this row here yields the best performances, the best sharp ratios, and the best multipliers of around 10. So you would have 10x your money over the whole backtest. But yes, we have to agree that there are kind of different performances here. So the best bluer cell here yields a performance of about 12x, but the neighbors not so much, so maybe an 8x or so. Yes, overall these are the best performances. Also maybe I would have benefited from exploring decimals for the multiplier, so I've explored only integers 1, 2, 3, but I could have also explored a range of decimals like 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and so on. We would have gotten a better resolution for our heat map today. So let's take a look at the backtest that I have run for 24 and 2. So this cell here, not the best one, so I don't cheat, but we get some quite good results with it, but not the worst either. So here's the backtest. This is the best so far that I've got. The middle chart shown in blue is the equity curve, so you would have started with a capital of $1,000 and end up having about $10,000 or $12,000 with not too many drawdowns. So some drawdowns are like in the 2022 bear market for Bitcoin. So on the top chart you can see the price of Bitcoin in black, and also drawdowns during the 2024 long range on Bitcoin. Also you can see on the top chart that the number of trades is quite good for this 4-hour version, and it's 137, so over my 100 trade threshold, and also the sharp ratio is good because it's annualized 1.3. Let's take a quick look at the 2-hour version. As you can see, we have maybe 2 rosier areas for the sharp ratios. The sharp ratio are the best for a Keltner length of around 10 and an ATR multiplier of around 2. So this row here. As you can see, when you choose an ATR multiplier of 1 or 3, you get a sharp drop in performance presented by the sharp ratios here. So we go from very rose to very pale rose, almost white. It would have been better maybe to have explored other values for the ATR around 2, so not to go from 1 to 2 to 3. It's a too big step maybe. So yes, because here I'm not very confident in selecting such values for the Keltner channel in 2-hour version, the 2-hourly time frame here, because yes, there is a too sharp drop between the first row, the second row, and the third row. So it's less the case here for the second area on the right of the heat map, with values of around 30 for the length and an ATR multiplier of around 3 or 2. Maybe it's a better area to choose values from. So as you can see, the best multipliers, how much you would have X multiply your money, are on the right in fact. So yes, I'm going to use 29 for example and 2 this cell here and run a backtest with these values. Let's take a look at the backtest in 2-hour version with 29 at the Keltner length and 2 as the ATR multiplier. So as you can see, we get a very sensitive Keltner channel here in blue, and we get many more trades. The number of trades is represented by the green dots or the green bands here, the green stripes on the top chart. So there are many of them, and the performance so far is not absolutely impressive because it's just a 6 or 7x or so. But at least it's something. We have a good number of trades. We can have some statistical conviction into that version of the strategy. But yes, the 4-hourly was good also. And last but not least, here's the Bollinger Bands similar version. This is a breakout strategy when we enter a long when the candlestick closes above the upper band of the Bollinger Band and closes below the middle line. So almost the same strategies rules, but the Bollinger Bands being calculated a bit differently than the Keltner Channel. The strategy, of course, yields different performance, but it's pretty similar. It was in 2 hours, in fact, with a Bollinger Band length of 100, which represents the length with which we calculate the middle line, which is a simple moving average, I believe, and the standard deviation also to calculate the upper and lower bands. So it's a calculation that is a little bit different than the Keltner channel, and that's the exact point of what my channel does. The goal is to explore a multitude of technical indicators, which sometimes seem very similar from the outside, but when we look at the nuances, this is a bit different. So take a look at it. Here in the 2024 range, this Bollinger Bands version reacts quite nicely actually, because it's quite flat, whereas if you had been a Bitcoin holder, it would have been quite difficult to handle such a drawdown or such a range with very high volatility. But with the Keltner channel, as you can see, the performance is a little bit degraded. You can see that when that long Bitcoin range occurred in 2024, this strategy is not so flat. Its slope overall goes very slightly to the downside. And again, here's the Bollinger Band version, which is quite flat. So by combining the two in your well-rounded portfolio, that's why I say well-rounded, you get the benefit from using both. So again, the Keltner channel for our backtest, the best so far. I hope you liked the video. Please hit the like button if it is the case. And if you want to see more backtests that I do in the future's video, please subscribe to the channel if it's not the case already. I see you tomorrow for another backtest. Bye bye.